friends, and welcome to the Paparazzi Stars podcast. Here, we chat about all things paparazzi. Tips, tricks, suggestions, and weekly challenges, all to help you grow and explode your Paparazzi Accessories business to rockstar success. Hey rock stars, and welcome to another great call today. My name is Anya and I am your host. We will be talking about host coaching today. So whether your hostess has hosted a million parties or this is her first one, hostess coaching is a good way to help your hostess have maximum success at her party. Before we get started into that, if you are busy driving around, taking care of the kids, whatever you need to do, your hands are not free to take notes, do not worry. I've got you covered. If you head on over to paparockstars.com/hostess-coaching, because that's what we're talking about today. So hostess-coaching over at paparockstars.com. It'll get you all the show notes, all the resources that we talked about. Everything from today's call is right there, including a super cute graphic that I have made just for you. So head on over there and check it out. The graphic that we have for you today, it's a cute lady with her hands up in the air, kind of screaming a little bit. And the words say, I scream, you scream. We all scream for bling bling. And then the paparazzi independent consultant logo on there. So you are welcome to use that on all your social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Text it out to your hostess, however you want to use it. I just ask that you don't change it because it really is super cute as it is. So head on over there, grab your copy, and use that to advertise for your hostess for your parties, either online or in live versions. So let's jump right into the training for today. Staying in contact with your hostess and coaching them in the days before their party can and will make a huge difference in the number of cancellations you get. We all know that cancellations aren't really a good thing. You don't really like them. So this is what's going to make the difference. Here is my hostess coaching formula in 3 steps. The first step is invite. You want your hostess to have 40 to 50 guests. It's proven that only about a fourth of the people that your hostess invites will actually come to the party. So while 50 might seem like a lot of people, it means only about 10, maybe 12 people are actually going to show up. So invite. When your hostess is inviting her guests, I highly recommend inviting multiple ways. Now you're probably going, why? Because some ways reach more people than others, but some are more personal. So I will personally send out a text, a paper invitation, and then make a Facebook event for the hostess to invite her friends with. Each of these only take a few minutes to put together, but will make a huge difference in the number of guests that show up the night of the party. If your hostess doesn't want to do all 3, I feel like the most important is the paper invitations, whether they're hand delivered or sent in the mail. It's easy to ignore a text, but it's not, or a Facebook invitation, but a paper invitation that's either mailed or delivered in person, it's a lot more difficult to ignore. So along with the first step here of invite, we're also going to remind. This makes a huge difference in the number of guests that actually come to the party because let's face it, we're all kind of busy and we tend to forget things. I send my hostess a text the day before her party to help remind her guests about the party. She can then copy and paste it to her friends or give them a quick phone call and remind them. Most hostesses tend to go the texting route as if their guests and friends are texters, just because it's easy. People can see it when they're, running around taking kids places or at the soccer field or whatever. And they don't get stuck on the phone talking to somebody for 40 minutes. So as a bonus, I personally will let her know that if her guests bring a friend to the party that wasn't already invited, I'm going to give them a free gift. So this gives you a good reason to remind them about the party, and it gets more guests at the party. Now you're probably going, a free gift? Come on, I'm trying to make money here. I just give them a piece of Starlit Shimmer of their choice. So you're only using 50 cents, and then if their guest ends up buying even 1 piece, you're already making more money because that guest wouldn't have come unless they brought them. So it really is kind of a win-win situation. And a piece of Starlit Shimmer isn't really going to set you back that much. So the copy of the text I usually send out is in the show notes, but I will read it to you as well. It says, don't forget about my paparazzi $5 jewelry party tomorrow night from 6 to 7:30 at my house. Of course, you want to edit the date and the times on these. It is open house style, so you're welcome to come for 5 minutes or stay the whole time. Also, if you bring a friend that wasn't already invited, you get a free gift. See you tomorrow. So short and sweet. Sometimes I'll put in there like over 600 items to choose from and all only $5. So it just kind of depends, but it doesn't have to be super fancy. Just reminding them the date and the time and that everything's $5 and they can come and go whenever. Step number 2 is bookings. Your hostess knows her friends better than anybody else. She knows who's most likely to host a party and who isn't. Have her be your advocate. If a friend can't make it to the party, have your hostess ask if they would be interested in hosting their own party. If she's hand delivering these invitations or calling them on the phone, she's going to pretty well know if they're going to be able to make it. Because if she calls her best friend and her best friend's like, oh my gosh, we have a play that night, we can't come. Then she's like, oh, dang it. Well, hey, would you want to host your own party and get free jewelry? She just possibly increased your business that way. So having her be your advocate is awesome. I also let my hostess know that if they book 2 parties before their party even happens, I will give them an extra gift at their party. Now, again, you're probably going, Anya, you're giving away too many free things. But your hostess, if she books you 2 parties, that's 2 more nights for you to go make money that you wouldn't have had otherwise. So giving her one more, piece necklace isn't really going to cost you more than $275, but it's going to increase your business by 2 parties. Whatever your party average is, say you make $150 at a party, that's times 2. So she just, gave you $300. It's worth giving her an extra $2.75 piece necklace to make that happen. It's also a great way to fill up your calendar quickly and have your hostess do some of the work for you. Step number 3, I call it the kiss step. If you've listened to some of the other calls, you've probably heard me talk about this before, but it is so important. Keep it simple, sister, is what KISS stands for. I usually tend to overcomplicate things like a lot. I will bake all day to impress my guests, make all kinds of fancy goodies, like 4 different kinds of cookies. I'll clean my house for days to make sure that even the craft room downstairs in the basement that nobody will ever see is spotless. It's kind of silly, I know, but it makes wanting to host a party overwhelming, both to me and to the guests that see how much effort I put into it. So I always tell my hostesses to keep it simple, sister, the KISS step. The best party I was ever a consultant at, the hostess served Oreos and milk. Simple, right? If your hostess wants to serve refreshments, encourage her to kiss it. Also, a spotless house is not required. As long as the guests aren't tripping over toys, they're going to be happy. They're there to see the jewelry. They've probably seen your house at its worst anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. Just make sure things are tidied up. Another reason that I encourage simplicity with my hostesses is because the guests are looking into the effort that she put into hosting that party. If she spent days or weeks getting ready, they're automatically thinking that hosting a party won't fit into their schedules. This is not what you want, ladies. You want them thinking, this is so easy, I could do it. So when your hostess takes the simple approach, it saves her time and energy, and her guests are more likely to want to host one as well. So again, win-win. You want them to keep it simple. Finally, a bonus tip for you. I will send my hostesses a postcard or a thank you card after she booked her party just to say, thank you for booking your show. I'm excited to get to party with you and your friends, and I appreciate you supporting my business. This is a night of work for me, and I'm excited to share it with your friends. It's a nice gesture, number one, to say thank you, but it also it might sound a little bit bad here, but it kind of puts a little bit of guilt in there. So if they want to reschedule or they're thinking about canceling, they're like, oh man, this is when she works. Like she's working this and they don't want to cancel because it is a night of work for me. I schedule it into my calendar. So when they kind of read that, they're like, oh man, I really got to make this work. And they're not just going to cancel it because they didn't put enough effort into it, or it's too much work to clean their house. It kind of encourages sticking to the date that they originally set. But it's also a really nice gesture to send them a thank you card, because they are taking time out of their lives to help you with your business. So it's kind of a really good thing for both ways. The day after the party, I'll also drop a thank you card in the mail to thank her for her time and energy she put into the party. And again, letting her know how much fun I had with her and her friends. I know that these two simple things have been the reasons why some of my hostesses rarely cancel and why they hardly ever bump dates. They stick to the original one. Be sure and check out the resources section for the call. I've included my Hostess Coaching packet that I use with all my hostesses. Be sure and fill your information into the header. I left that blank so that you can fill in your personal information so that your hostess is calling and contacting you when she has any questions. So it has some blank spaces in there, like the very first line says, "Hi, blank," and you put in their name. "Hi, Catherine. I'm so excited to host a party with you on blank from blank." So I'll put like on Saturday, October 1st from 6 to 8. So, and then it basically outlines the steps that we just talked about. There's a 50 people in 5 minutes guest list in there to help her find those 50 people so that we know who we're inviting. There's a sheet in there that talks about how many free that she will get. So again, this is an outline. It's what I use with my hostesses, but you are welcome to use that as well. There's another call that talks about hostess rewards. You're welcome to listen to that and design your own hostess rewards program. There's an invitation mailing list on there so that if you're doing mailed out invitations, you can get those addresses and send those cards out. And then finally, in every single one of my hostess packets, I put business opportunity information. Now, you never know what hostess is thinking. Oh, her job is pretty easy. I could actually do that. So this one right here is so important. It just simply says, "Have you ever thought of doing what I do?" And then outlines a couple of the basics of paparazzi. And then it says, "Kits starting at only $99. Want to know more? Ask me." And then again, it has your a space for you to enter in your information. So go ahead, head on over to the resources section, check that out, print it out. You're welcome to use it. Call challenge for today. Are we ready? Awesome. Okay, so the call challenge is to print out 4 hostess coaching packets and get them ready for your next hostess. You don't have a printer? No worries. You can save it to your computer and take it to a printing store. The one that I went to the other day, I was at my in-laws' house and they didn't have a printer that worked. So I went to a printer store and it only took me a couple minutes, and I think it was like 5 cents a page to print things out. So it's really not expensive if you need to go that way. So your call challenge, print out 4 hostess coaching packets and get them ready, and then try and book 2 parties. Ladies, I know you can do this, and I know that this will help explode your business. So thanks for listening to the call today. I am excited to talk to you again next time. Have a good week. Bye-bye.